So about 4 months ago, I posted a video on this YouTube channel, which was a letter to myself 10 years ago, which was actually a pretty frank admission that my mental health was bad. I was really quite sick, and I had been for some time. Now, the response to that video was phenomenal. People were so wonderfully kind, and I was so incredibly lucky to have this community that has built up around these videos. So I just want to say formally, thank you so much for being so nice. In the 4 odd months since I made that video, I basically stepped away from my job. So I wasn't making YouTube videos. I was focusing entirely on myself and really rebooting me. I'm kind of Simon 2.0 right now. And so I wanted to make this video to talk about what I was doing in that time and how I've got back to the position that I'm in now, because I feel like a very different person than the person I was in that video. And I hope that this will be helpful to others, because something that I got from the response to that first video was that it was helpful to people, instructive to people who were in a similar situation and maybe weren't being honest with themselves. So I'm making this video because I hope that talking about what I did, how I did it, will be instructive to people who are maybe going on a similar kind of journey. In my video, I identified 3 principal problems, which were a lack of confidence, anxiety, and depression. Now, just by making the video, I made myself significantly less anxious. It felt like a giant weight had been lifted off my shoulders when I felt like I wasn't hiding something from my community when I had for so long. So just making the video was cathartic. And what followed immediately after that, as I said, was stepping back from YouTube for basically, I originally was only going to do a week, and I was talking to Sally, my friend Sally LePage, about how I was going to take a week off, and she was like, no, this is going to be like a multi-month thing. And you know, she has this annoying habit of being right sometimes. I basically took the rest of that year off, from the end of October till the end of the year, just focusing on myself, and that allowed me to combat the feelings that I had about being depressed and being sad and being stressed the whole time, and allowed me to focus on spending time with my partner, with Pixel Girl, with my family over Christmas, and also just doing things which I enjoy. I've watched a lot of Star Trek: The Next Generation. I've also been painting Warhammer, and Pixel Girl and I made a big scary couples decision, and we bought a piano together, and so we've been learning to play that and just actually doing stuff which I enjoy. And it felt like it had been so long since I'd invested time in myself in that way. So that initial period of sort of investing time in myself was super important. The single scariest thing I did in this whole period was actually going to a medical professional. So I'd never talked to any medical professional about my mental health before, and going to the doctors, going to a GP, and basically laying it all out there was very intimidating, but I am so incredibly glad that I did so. At the moment, I am in a waiting list for cognitive behavioural therapy on the NHS, and I have been taking antidepressant and anti-anxiety medication for several months, and that has been absolutely wonderful. Something that I should stress is that the medication isn't a cure, it's like a band-aid, it's a sticking plaster for the symptoms. What it allows me to do though is actually be able to get back to work, which is why in the new year I've been able to start making videos again, because I don't feel those symptoms quite as keenly. I've actually been able to sleep properly for the first time in what feels like years. So in general, the medication and going to the NHS has allowed me to function again. That was one of the crucial things which I did in that whole period. Something else which I did in this period was get back into exercise in a really sort of regular way. I kind of fell off the fitness bandwagon after I did my 2 half marathons last year, and a lot of that was basically because I was tired the whole time, and I was also anxious all the time, so I just never wanted to go and do exercise. And that meant that I gained a lot of weight because I was comfort eating, and since December I have really been putting that to rights. So people who follow me on Instagram will know this because I put it on my stories all the time, but I've been going to the gym every week. I've been losing a lot of weight. I'm the best part of 10 kilos down from the start of the year, so incredibly happy with the progress on that. And that's done a lot to restore my self-confidence and just generally make me feel better about myself. However, the single biggest change that I've made and has improved my mental health so much has been how I've organized my life. And I mean both my personal life and my work life. And the person that's made that possible has been Pixel Girl. I owe such a debt of gratitude to Pixel Girl for everything she's done in this period. She has been so supportive and patient, and I love her so much for it. And something specific that she got me to do was to start using the software which she's been using in her master's work. So she's doing a master's in education at the moment. And she organizes all of her notes in this bit of software called Notion. Now, she got into Notion via a YouTuber called Ali Abdaal, who some of you may be aware of. He has a channel where he talks about productivity and organization. And I went to meet him quite recently, and I got him to explain what Notion is and how he uses it.
So you describe it as your life OS. So you basically do everything in it, right?
I do a lot of things in it, yeah. I use it to kind of organize my kind of daily productivity. I use it as an address book to an extent. I use it to track my gym workouts, to manage my YouTube videos, to kind of do team stuff with the people that I'm working with. I also use it for like my medical school notes and for preparing for supervisions that I'm teaching and for writing questions and for even keeping track of what friends are doing when I have hangouts with friends. I'll like write a few notes about it in Notion. So I use Notion for so much stuff.
I mean, honestly, you introducing it to me has completely revolutionized the way that I do my job. It has changed how organized I am. It's completely turned my life around. So honestly, thank you so much.
Oh, well, you're very welcome. I'm glad I was able to make that video.
Well, yeah, honestly, no, thank you, seriously.
Game changing. It has, I think, been the single most impactful change that I've made in these past 4 months. I cannot overstate how much of a difference it has made to how I feel, how my mental health has been. So I think the best thing that I can do at this point is literally just show you how I've been using Notion, because it's so flexible that it's all about the specific implementation that you do. And this implementation, I think, has been one of the principal reasons I've been able to get back to work, and I feel so much more on top of things. Now, as I said at the start of the video, 2 of the major problems that I talked about in that previous video were a lack of self-confidence and a general anxiety. And I think both of them tied up in this problem I had of just feeling like I was stumbling through life. I didn't really have a clear direction. I didn't have goals that I was striving towards. So one of the principal things that I've been able to do with Notion is put together a set of goals for the year and then break them down into what I want to accomplish every month. Some of this is going to be censored, by the way, because some of it's very personal and some of it is to do with projects I can't talk about yet. Ooh, it's exciting. So for example, here in March, I'm going to be doing some tests for a new Warhammer army that I'm going to be painting, so for color schemes and stuff. I've got the books that I want to read, and I've also got my this video that I'm going to make, as well as some goals for fitness and some stuff which I can't show you. Now those goals will have come from something which is done higher up in the page, which is what are my objectives for this year, and some of those objectives are be healthy, go on holiday to Madrid, which we're going to be doing the following month, so we organise actually ahead of schedule. And then some of them I actually haven't stated in here. I might actually add right now. Read 30 books. I read 25 books last year and I want to try and do 5 better this year. Now this is all well and good, but it's all on a monthly basis, whereas I have found that the most productive way of using it has been doing weekly to-do lists. And the way that I've done that is have a template here where I can add a new week. And this page has got to-do lists all rigged up for the different days of the week, along with a weekly reflection and prep for next week every Sunday. So something that I definitely have hit on is that regular reflection and regular planning has been crucial to assess how well I'm doing, because then that helps with the self-confidence. It shows that actually, you are accomplishing stuff. You're reaching towards these longer term goals on like a monthly and yearly basis. And it's all the small steps which you reflect on at the end of the week, you realize add up. And then knowing what you're doing next week helps with the anxiety of not feeling like you're going anywhere in life. It's literally tackling the 2 biggest problems that I've been suffering from head on. Now all that stuff's my personal life, but I also have this page for my YouTube channel. I also have pages for the big project that I can't talk about, for the Wikicast, my podcast, and for the finances of like everything I do all together. And what's really been useful here has been video projects. So this is all the stuff that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months. I've got stuff planned until August, and then a whole raft of ideas, which I'm not going to show you because I'm worried about being sniped by other science YouTubers. But what you can see here is the stuff that's going to be coming out, including this video, and I'll give you a teaser of the one that's going to come out next because I'm generous, I guess. But this is a database, so I can just change the view that we're looking at. So if I put this to completed, for example, then let's look at the Team Trees page. So this is a page within the database. It has the script in here, it has the bullet point form, which I start out with the script, and then I can also put stuff like, has this been added to Nebula, the streaming service that I'm part of? Have I been paid for it if it was a sponsored video? And it just means that I have everything to do with the video all in one place. So I have been recently working with outsourcing some work to some video editors from the community, which has been a huge relief, and it has allowed me to make more regular content than I would otherwise be able to do. I can send them a link to this page and it has everything in one place. So for example, the video which I did on the Itzvish effect, I sent this to my editor, Anna, and there's a color-coded scheme here. So I could say, these are the bits which I want to be just me on camera, the bits that I want voiceover, and the bits which need graphics. She didn't do those graphics, I did them, but it honestly sped up the process so much. Something that you might have noticed, by the way, is that it's very personalizable. So I have like custom icons for the different videos. I have a custom background on basically all these pages. It's a simple thing, but making it like a nice environment has made such a difference to me actually using the software. Before I was using a hodgepodge mix of Todoist, which I still use for some regular tasks, Google Doc, Google Calendar, all this work stuff was spread out all over the place. And it just wasn't a terribly nice experience to use. Stuff fell through the cracks. With this, it's all in one place, and I can actually make it look like, I can make it nice to look at. It's silly, but having this stuff, like making it actually look nice, I don't know, it makes me more likely to use it, which means that I am more likely to be productive. And drawing on something that Ali does, I have done a year-end review. I'm going to do one at the end of this year. I actually do small reviews at the end of the month as well, which just allow for, again, it's helping with that self-confidence. And it's been really useful in making me aware of how close I am or how far away I am from achieving particular goals. It also shows that if you use the service, then you can actually use pages which have been templated by somebody else. So this was a page that Ali made, and I just modified and put my own data in. The YouTube database, so for my videos, I basically took from Thomas Frank's video on the same subject. And it's been super easy to just grab a template and go, yeah, I'm going to use that. Done. Now, when I was putting together the bullet points for this video and what I wanted to talk about, I realized that I'd been talking about Notion a lot, whilst I was writing it into Notion. And then that same day, I got an email from my agency saying, by the way, have you heard of this product called Notion? They want to sponsor a video with you. So in the most unbelievable case of good luck I think I've ever known, this video is actually sponsored by Notion. And if you want to try out the software, if you like what you've seen, then you can do so completely for free. So the free version of Notion that anybody can sign up to, you're limited to, I think it's 1,000 blocks, so like 1,000 kind of individual elements, like lines of text here in Notion. But if you upgrade to the personal plan, which is what I've got here, then you are unlimited. You can put as much information into it as you want. However, if you are a student or an educator of some kind, like if you have an academic email, then you can actually upgrade to this personal plan completely for free. Notion introduced that like late last year. As I hope I've communicated to you by this point in the video, this has been absolutely game-changing for me. I don't think it would be an exaggeration to say that Notion has been the single thing that has allowed me to turn my life around in the past couple of months. I mean, yeah, that's not to discount the support that I've got from my family and from Pixel Girl and all the work that I've put in myself, but it's the organization. It's feeling like I'm on top of my stuff and I know where I'm going that has made me feel less anxious. It's made me feel a lot more confident in myself. And it's definitely allowed me to get back to work sooner than I otherwise would have done. So if you're watching this and you think you would benefit from that kind of organization, and that could be, particularly if you're a student, but that could be for your work life, it could be for personal life, or like me, a mix of the two, I cannot recommend it enough. It's honestly been fantastic for me. Thank you for watching the video. I really hope that you took something away from this. If you found yourself in a situation similar to what I was going through a couple of months ago, I really hope that you have some actionable items from this. You can learn from my experiences, because no matter how bleak it seems, you can always turn things around. That's, I think, probably the single biggest thing I've learned in the past couple of months. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.